So, we are going to start a 7 episode series on the chakras. Chakras, however you want to say them, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're in the right place because we're going to do a 7 episode series on the chakras and what each one is. So, the chakras are energy centers in our bodies, and the concept originates from uh, ancient Indian spiritual traditions, particularly within Hinduism and Buddhism, and lots of other spiritual practices use them, and a lot of other spiritual practices, modalities, religions have things that are similar to energy centers, the chakras, and they call them different names. But for our purpose, we're going to go with the 7 chakras. And there's actually different types of spiritual practices, different types of medicine practices that subscribe to a belief of 12 or even beyond chakras, energy centers. The main 7 that we'll talk about reside in the body, and the others are outside of, like, the hands, the top of the head, the bottom of the feet. And so we're going to focus on the main 7 chakras. And this will be a very introductory, beginner's style of learning about the chakras and how you can balance them and work with them and notice where you're feeling strength, where you're feeling you want to spend a little more time. It's a great way to get in touch with our bodies using the energetic bodies that I speak a lot about. Is that we have our physical body where I said they reside, right? And then we have our emotional body coming out, then our mental body, and then our spiritual body. And these energy centers, for example, you have your heart chakra. As it is spinning, it's strongest in the center, and then that vibration goes out. So we actually then are having the vibration of our chakra go into our energetic fields, right? And when it's not spinning, then we aren't energetically tied to that area of the body through our different energetic bodies. I fear I might be getting ahead of myself. So we'll go back to basics here with the 7 chakras. And now they start in general. I had one teacher who loved to start at the top, crown chakra, and work the way down. But I find most people start with your base, the root chakra, which is it's at the very kind of like your tailbone area, like more at the base of your spine. And that's your root chakra. And then we work upwards for the 7 chakras, the root. And then the next chakra up is our sacral chakra. And that's about 2 inches below your belly button. In that area, there's some people claim there's like specific locations, right? My research and my studies, it's this accumulation of an area, right? And so that's why that energetic field of the chakra spinning can go out. Um, I am getting ahead of myself again. So we're going to just continue with 1 through 7. So now we'll go from our sacral, which is 2 inches below our belly button, to our solar plexus, which is about 2 inches above our belly button. That space right here, which you can't see, but still 2 inches above your belly button. Then we go into our heart, which is the 4th chakra. And also, when we get to this episode on the heart chakra, it's considered the bridge because we have our lower 3 and our upper 3. And so our heart chakra is that bridge, which is just beautiful because our heart bridges most everything. So then we have our throat chakra. And then we have our third eye, which is just right here in our forehead, third eye location. And then we have our crown, which is on it's in our head area, right? Like right here, actually. And as I said, we're going to be beginners doing this very beginner way. So we'll even go over the colors associated with each, the body systems associated with each, what we can do to practice bringing balance and health to each area and how they all work together, right? So this concept of chakras is, like I said, found in spiritual traditions dating back dating back way. And then they're also found in different spiritual and metaphysical traditions like yoga or even some new age practices. And so the word chakra itself, chakra, I think it might be more correctly pronounced chakra. Either way, we know what we're talking about, right? It comes from a Sanskrit word, which means wheel or disc. And that is because our chakras are said to be spinning in a clockwise fashion in our body. In each location that we talked about, the root on straight up. And then maybe one day we'll get into all the others, but for this episodes, we're going to focus on the 7 chakras that line the center of our body. So we can envision them as spinning wheels of energy that correspond to a different part of our body, and that affects our physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects of our body. Excuse me. I've yet to learn how to edit, and so I'm not even going to bother with editing that out. Anyway, these energy centers are believed to be along our spine, and that's why we kind of start back here, and then we are at the base of our spine. Some people think the root of your chakras. Often, you'll hear people talk about it being in your perineum area, where it's included, right? All of those that area is included, but actually all of our sex organs are in our sacral area. Is so the root, I like to think of it as that the base of our spine, that tailbone, right? And this is the other thing, is that we all know, I'm pretty sure we all know that I'm not a scientist nor a doctor, and that all of my information comes from my studies and my certifications. And so you may find something somewhere else to suggest that these are located differently. But like I say in a lot of these videos, is that my goal for this is to make this information available and accessible, and that it's to share what I know, and you take what you like and leave the rest. Find it somewhere else. Enjoy what I have. Ask me more questions. I love that. So with that, these energy centers run the length of our spine, moving from our base upward to the crown of our head. And the 7 main that we went over, each week I'll go and dive deep into one of the chakras. So today we will start with the first chakra, the root chakra. And that, like I said, is located at the base of our spine. It's associated with the color red. The chakras follow the rainbow colors. And I believe that comes full circle with the vibration of sound and light and everything. I think when you see a rainbow, right, that's just the reflective, what we're seeing, right? So I think that are the colors, they're associated very nicely. They help us with remembering it, but it also over time has allowed people to make connections with these energy centers and find ways to balance and heal them. So knowing that it's red, keep that in mind, because when we get into ways of grounding and balancing and cleaning and just overall health of each chakra, our colors will come in handy. The element of the 4 elements, earth, wind, fire, and air. Well, air would be wind. So wait, fire, earth, water, and air. Out of those 4 elements, the root is the element of earth. And why that is this chakra is said to be the one that when that's off balance, the rest are. It is our base, it is our foundation. And it's linked, this chakra is corresponds with and is linked to our basic survival needs. Okay, so food, water, shelter, safety. And that it represents that foundation for us, right? So its physical associations would be our legs and our feet, our bones, our large intestines. Oftentimes, you'll find people are constipated, they have root chakra imbalances, whether it comes from childhood, a lot of that the feelings of safety that we have are formed in our childhood. And so that is something that a lot of people do when they want to balance their root chakra is get really into some inner child work, inner teen work, inner self work, right? It's this element of survival. So if we think of everything in our human form for survival, it's money, it's love, it's food, clothing, shelter, all of that that keeps us sustained, right? Um, it's that foundation and when it's off. And so that's why when we're feeling unsafe, we're feeling not enough, right? It's that it has that element of abundance or scarcity, right? When we're feeling not enough, we know that we need to ground. And that's why grounding as a tool itself is so wonderful. And grounding ourselves, making sure our foundation is strong and sturdy, that all has that element of earth to it, that strong strength, earth to it, right? And I think the neighbor wants to mow their lawn right now. They're taking care of their earth. So we're going to continue, and hopefully it's not too obnoxious or loud for you. For me, it's a little annoying, but I'm over here, so we'll deal with it, right? And so when we have this balance and solid foundation, we're able to then start working on all of our other chakras. So that's why we start with the root chakra. That's why I love to start with it, right? And when it's in balance, that's what you're going to feel. You're going to feel this sense of being grounded. You're going to have this sense that you're secure. You're secure in your body and in your environment, right? When there's this sense of stability and connection to your physical body, when there's people who have a disconnect from their body, you often can find healing possibilities within that root chakra system, right? So if it's out of balance, how do you know when your root chakra is out of balance, right? You may start to feel those feelings of insecurity. I'm not enough. I don't have enough, right? Starting to have those feelings of scarcity. And last week we talked about that, how we can even change our vocabulary from a point of feeling this sense of a lack, scarcity, to a sense of abundance. So there's so many ways to touch into working with our root chakra. It's not just the base of the spine, right? It's in our vibration, it's in our words, it's in our presence. But I will give you some tangible things to work on for your root chakra. A lot of times people will feel fatigue, they'll have constipation, lower back, hip issues, feelings of anxiousness, insecurities. And like I was talking about, this major disconnection from your body and from the physical world around them, that off feeling that most people walk through. Now, so you're like, oh my gosh, that if someone has an imbalance in their root chakra, Kathy, it sounds like it's everything, right? Well, yeah, it's our foundation. It's where we want to focus our healing energy so that if we're spending all this time on our heart chakra, right, and our root chakra is out of balance, it is, you will have healing and you'll feel relief, but you're still out of balance because you're stable, right? So what is it like? Like sometimes if something's wrong with the house, they're like, we just got to rip it down to the studs. Well, sometimes we just have to rip it down to the studs and start at the base, start at our foundation, right? And that's how we can build our way up. And that's why we start with the root chakra. So now a few things to talk about how we can bring healing to the root chakra. A lot of a lot a lot of people like to use affirmations, and I love working with affirmations. I love sharing them with my clients, developing mantras, right? Your biggest key when working with affirmations is you have to buy into it, right? A lot of people, a lot of textbooks say the mantra for your root chakra is I am safe. If you do not believe there is a possibility you can feel safe, you just feel unsafe, your safety is not even in any proximity to you, you can sit and say, I feel safe, I feel safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, over and over and over, and it will never, ever work. We need to get our mantras to a point where we believe them. And that's why I love offering that you can add words like, I believe one day I'll feel safe. I believe in the possibility to feel safe. I think I could feel safe, right? So we're going to go with what your brain will buy into, because that's where we are having our energetic bodies, our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies work together to bring balance and healing to that root chakra, right? With our mental, emotional bodies, we are rewiring neuropathic ways so that we can then say, I feel safe, and believe it and mean it, and start working on healing that foundation of our root chakra. So I'm going to leave you with that blanket statement of secure. I feel secure. I feel safe. These are the types of affirmations we want to work on when we're balancing out our root chakra. Now, for each chakra, I'm going to go through and give you a couple tips for, or I'll give you some information for each one on ways you can heal, right? So the sound is lam, the sound of our root chakra, right? Lam, lam. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's lam. Anyways, LAM. You look it up. LAM, lam. I think that's how it is. It's not lamb, lam. This is going to be a good episode. Anyways, the number associated with our root chakra is number 1, right? It's the first. The lotus, when you have a lotus, if it's got 4 petals, that's a symbol to your root chakra. The color is red. And as I said, the element is earth. The planet is Saturn. These are all little tidbits. So there might be one of you who just loves astrology and is grabbing onto that. Your root chakra planet is Saturn, and that's something that will work for you. So that's what I'm giving you a little bit of sprinkling so that you can pick and choose and take what you like, right? Now, people, we think about healing, and nutrition is so vital to healing, right? It's what we're putting into our bodies. So if you want to work on your root chakra, you want to gravitate towards fruits and vegetables that have that red color to it, right? So we've got cherries and some red apples, red grapes, watermelons, blood oranges, tomatoes, bell peppers, right? And then there's some other vegetables that may not be red, that or even spices that may not be red, but they're very earthy, and that draws in that healing. So we've got like char, Swiss chard, chili pepper, beets, right? Garlic, ginger, paprika, turmeric, cumin, black pepper, all of that earthy type of food will help you. And if you are into crystals and rocks and stones, if you're wanting to work on your root chakra, maybe grab one of the following and keep it in your pocket or keep it on your nightstand. And I'm going to go back and tell you why I'm giving you these little tidbits too. So For your stones and crystals, we want to do red jasper and black tourmaline and bloodstone and black obsidian. So these are ones that when they have a very earth quality to them. Some of them are red, some of them are not. They're two of them are like black, right? So that's that dark earth, heavy feeling to them. And practicing self-care that's connected with nature, whether it is stones or crystals, will help you to have that grounded and supported feeling for your root chakra, right? And so when we know now that the root chakra is associated with the number one, or that it's the red jasper stone, right? If you have red jasper, this is where creating new neural pathways come in, where we can bring in our energetic bodies. If we know that it's number one and we know that we are wanting to work on this, when we look at the clock and it's like 1 o'clock or 1:12 or 1:43, whatever it is, seeing that one will now signal to your brain root chakra. So now your brain subconsciously is going to then start to support your root chakra. When you see the stone that you anchored your root chakra healing to, your brain will do that consciously and subconsciously. So now we are actually healing our root chakra. We're healing our foundation by putting things into our world that help trigger. It's that cue, then we have a cue, then we have the response, and then we have the reward. So now our reward is supporting our root chakra, right? So even, you have the color red. You might want to start, if you have a red shirt or a red scarf or a red handbag, whatever, if you're looking to incorporate bringing that into your feeling, into your space, into your awareness, you're going to find ways to pull that in. Maybe it's going and getting a red rose, who knows? So I don't talk a lot about my exercise routines on here. I'm not even sure I ever have, but I do a few things that I love. And I am a basic yoga posturer doer, right? I don't enjoy yoga classes. I don't enjoy a vinyasa. I don't love a big flow. I don't love a fast flow, I'll tell you that much. But I love to practice the postures. For me, they're a little more of a connection with my body, a stretch. So for this series, I'm going to give you a couple postures, a couple stretches that you can do for each chakra that we're dealing with. And so the first for our root chakra is the chair pose. And I'll tell you the pose. I will save you the example and the visual of me doing chair posing, right? But it is the chair pose where you're just kind of looking like you are almost going to sit in a chair, but you're not. So this is good to give our waist and our upper front leg muscles that sense of feeling strong, and it's flexibility for our shoulder and our chest, but also it's that motion for our root chakra. The next is where we are, it's called thunderbolt pose. It's where you're sitting on your heels almost. And this is a very relaxing and strengthening. So our muscles and our bones love compression too. So when you are doing this pose, you're putting some nice relaxation and compression for your legs, your ankles. That's an amazing beginner pose for it. And then warrior two pose. That is just very, I mean, even in of itself, warrior, like when you do that, it's strength, grounding. My throat chakras getting a little dry. So that is one, the warrior two pose is really good for feeling that strength. And it's very warrior. As I mentioned before, our root chakra has that large intestine, and it's a great pose and stretch strengthening, lengthening for our digestive health, right? And so when you think of the root chakra, what I want you to most important to take out of it is the feeling of um, being supported in your own body. Wherever you feel imbalance, know that you could go straight to the root, right? We find the root cause. There's all these phrases that we use, right? Let's get to the root of the problem, right? What's the root cause of that health issue, right? Which is so not Western medicine. But let's figure out how we can balance your root chakra to create that stable foundation for yourself. And with that, I will leave you with the root chakra. And I'm really excited for next week because the sacral is one that I am working on. Personally, I used to spend a lot of time um, working on my third eye and my crown. And then through my own healing journey, I realized that I was spending so much time out here and just neglecting my earth body, neglecting my foundation, neglecting my like my inner child, neglecting my base, my safety, right? I spent so much time working on my intuition out here, and it's great, and I love it, and I still love to spend a lot of time out here. But I've had to bring it down, and I've worked really hard on my root chakra. And right now, where I am in my life, I'm working on my sacral. And so I'm excited to share that all with you next week. I hope that you have a ton of information for your root chakra. I'll add some of them in the notes below. And what I am going to do for all of these is I have actually a few different root chakra meditations, or not just root chakra meditations that I do for my clients, that I've done for myself. So throughout this series, I'll be leaving you bonus audios to listen to follow along in your root chakra healing, all your chakra healing. And I can't wait to dive into this series with you. If you have any specific questions about one or any of the chakras, email me, drop them below. I'd love to talk more about it. And if there was something today that was unclear, please reach out. I'd be more than happy to spend a little time going over all of this with you. So until next week, I hope that you begin to support your root chakra in ways that feel good to you.